My gay BFF stole my husband, so I made their lives a living hell. I never thought I'd be one of those people writing a soap opera of a post, but here we are. Buckle up. This one's a doozy. I, 32F, had what I thought was the perfect life, a beautiful home, a solid marriage with Luke, 34 million, and a best friend, Jamie, 33M, my ride or die since college. We supported each other through everything: breakups, deaths, job losses, and major life milestones. Jamie is gay. He came out to me during sophomore year, and I was the first person he told. We both signed up for a gender studies elective and trauma bonded over the world's worst professor. Jamie was the brother I never had, the therapist I didn't pay, and the person I called when I needed to cry, rage, or laugh. I held him through his first heartbreak, and he helped me navigate mine. I thought nothing could break us. Then there was my husband, Luke. We met at a friend's wedding 5 years ago, clicked instantly, and got married 3 years ago. Jamie was my man of honor. He cried harder than me at the altar. He gave a speech that had the whole room in tears. Jamie loved Luke. He used to call us his favorite couple and joked about being our honorary third wheel. He was at every dinner, every vacation, every birthday. I thought, how lucky am I to have my best friend and my husband get along so well? Everyone said how lucky I was to have a husband and a best friend who loved each other. I thought I was blessed. Oh, how naive I was. Looking back, I see it now. The signs, the way Jamie would always sit between us on the couch, the nights he'd text Luke way past midnight, the time I came home early and found them baking a cake together like they were on some domestic honeymoon. I thought it was sweet. I was so stupid. Everything began to unravel last Christmas. I got the flu, a nasty one. I was out for nearly 2 weeks in bed. Luke was working late most nights in December, which was unusual since his office normally winds down before the holidays. Jamie, meanwhile, was mysteriously unavailable. Even our traditional Christmas movie marathon got postponed. He said he couldn't come over because of a family emergency. Something in my gut screamed that something wasn't right. Call it woman's intuition. One night after Luke left for a quick drink with the guys, I snooped. I didn't want to, but something was off. I opened our shared tablet, which was synced to his phone, and went through his messages. And there it was, sexting messages, hundreds of them. Between Luke and Jamie, photos, videos, explicit stuff. But worse than the sex was the emotional intimacy, love confessions, talk of building a life together, even discussing me, saying how I wouldn't understand, how she's just in the way. They said other things like,
I can't believe we have to keep hiding. She doesn't deserve either of us.
You make me feel safe in a way she never could.
She'll never understand us.
Even screenshots of me being talked about like I was some kind of clueless roommate in my own marriage. I sat there shaking, vomiting, crying, and then numb. I read for hours, feeling like I was outside of my own body. Jamie, the man I once held as he sobbed over his first boyfriend, had stolen the life I built. I didn't confront them immediately. No. I wanted to watch them dig their grave. For 2 weeks, I acted normal, keeping up the act of the clueless, doting wife. Kissed Luke goodbye, sent Jamie TikToks, planned a New Year's Eve party. Meanwhile, I screen recorded everything on that iPad, backed up the photos, the texts, the audio notes. On New Year's Eve, I hosted the party as planned. I wore red, power color. I invited Jamie, of course, kissed Luke at midnight, hugged Jamie, and then I asked both of them to join me on the balcony. I confronted them about their relationship, saying that they seemed way too close to be just friends. They were shocked to say the least, but decided to laugh it up instead.
What are you talking about? Is it a joke? Because that's insane. You know damn well that Jamie is one of my homies.
You probably drank a little too much, I think. You should go easy on yourself, honey.
Funny, because I thought your honey was Luke. And you, my dear husband, since when did you start kissing the homies goodnight, huh? Or is it Jamie's princess treatment? They stopped laughing, wondering if I was really serious. Meanwhile, I was just smiling the damn whole time. They shared some anxious glances before wanting to make me go inside, claiming I might be too high to be on a balcony. They were starting to feel uncomfortable, but so do every traitor like them when they get exposed. So I calmly asked Jamie to hand me his phone over so that I could verify their relationship status. He refused.
How dare you ask me that? That's so disrespectful.
Where was that disrespect when you were fucking each other?
Are you mind?
Luke almost yelled.
You know damn well I'm not gay.
Then show me y'all convo, I told them firmly.
No, that's something private. You should trust your husband and me more, because I do not know who gave you that idea. But I would never be with Luke as long as he's with you.
Fine. Since y'all need help to go public, I'll help you. I pulled up the synced messages from my own phone and read a few out loud. She's emotionally dead weight. I hope for you she's not as boring in bed as she is in general law. Would I be here if she wasn't Lemao? Their faces drained of color. Jamie started crying. Luke looked like a ghost. He tried to snatch my phone away though, but my hand met his face faster. He was baffled he couldn't believe I actually hit at him. Even Jamie stopped crying for a moment. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just looked them both dead in the eyes and said, "You two deserve each other, and I hope you burn in whatever twisted version of heaven you believe in, but I hope the sex was worth it though, because now I'm about to make your lives a living hell." Then I walked back inside and said, loud and clear for the 40 guests to hear, "My husband and my best friend are fucking behind my back, just so everyone knows why I'll be disappearing from all group events." Mic drop. Then I left, just like that. Update 1. Guys, I've hired a damn good divorce lawyer. It's been 2 weeks already and I am not done yet. I moved out the morning after the party. I left the house we shared because I knew I'd take it in the divorce. Luke has tried calling me 67 times. Yes, I counted. And Jamie wrote me a letter begging for forgiveness. 4 pages long. 4. He said he didn't mean for this to happen, that it wasn't a betrayal because he always loved Luke and just didn't realize it until now. A moment of weakness that turned into something unexpected. Pathetic. I also found out from a mutual friend that Jamie and Luke have moved in together within the month. The same friend told me Jamie posted a pic on Instagram, New Beginnings, and was boasting about how he and Luke are finally free to be themselves and don't have to hide anymore. Free? I paid Luke's bills for a year when he lost his job during COVID and was somehow still responsible for most of the expenses despite him having a job again and saying that men are the natural providers. And Jamie, the same man who once cried on my floor begging me not to move out of town for work because he couldn't live without me. The same man who joked he'd officiate my vow renewals. I helped him get clean during a bad substance phase. I was their safety net for Christ's sake, and they both spat in my face. So now, I'm going to scorch the earth. I sent the pic to my lawyer. Luke and I had a prenup. One Jamie helped me review back when I got engaged. Oh, the irony. It stated that in case of infidelity, the innocent party keeps all assets they entered the marriage with, and 60% of joint property. Luke tried to deny cheating, claimed it was an emotional connection that turned physical after we separated. Cute. My lawyer presented the exact timestamps from the synced iPad, emails, photos. One of Jamie's messages even said,
She still thinks we're just friends, lol.
I walked away with the house, 75% of our savings. I pushed for emotional damages and W1, his car, technically bought with my bonus that year. Remember how I said I wasn't done? Here's what I've done so far. Luke and I had a joint investment portfolio. Guess who liquidated her share the morning the market was highest in weeks? Me. He's now stuck paying the capital gains tax because I technically sold first. Jamie works in PR, very image obsessed. So I shared anonymized blurred screenshots of their messages to an anonymous Twitter account and an anonymous account on TikTok I created. Told my story from a what would you do perspective. No names, just facts. Within a week, it spread like wildfire on Twitter. The video on TikTok blew up, millions of views. The timing? Right before he pitched for a high-profile client. Guess who didn't get the account? Jamie moved into Luke's bachelor apartment. I heard through the grapevine he started selling his designer bags. And guess who lost 2 major clients because they didn't want to associate with potential drama? Jamie. He tried posting a Love Wins video with Luke. The comments were brutal.
Did you steal your bestie's man?
You really thought you were the main characters, huh?
He deleted his Twitter the next week. A mutual friend told me they've been fighting non-stop. Jamie cries a lot. Luke feels trapped. They tried open relationship dynamics. It failed spectacularly. Jamie got jealous and Luke got bored. I heard Jamie got drunk one night and screamed,
She was the only person who ever loved me unconditionally, and I destroyed it.
They're back together now after a break, but barely holding on now. But the best? Jamie's parents are deeply religious, old school. I've always kept quiet about his lifestyle around them out of respect for him. But he once said they'd disown him if they found out he was gay. So I mailed the screenshots to his mom. I know, it was cruel, but I was done playing nice. Me? I sleep fine. I took a solo trip to Greece, met a man who speaks 3 languages, respects boundaries, and doesn't text my friends behind my back. Update 2. The cracks are showing. Mutual friends say Luke and Jamie are fighting constantly. I emailed their landlord, a friend of mine from college, shared some receipts. Magically, their rent tripled due to some lease irregularities. Luke is working part-time and sleeping on Jamie's couch after being kicked out by the landlord. Their dream life is crumbling. Meanwhile, I've started therapy. My therapist said,
You didn't lose them. They lost you.
I smiled for the first time in months. But later on, he told me that I needed to rebuild my identity outside of betrayal and revenge. But I'm not quite ready to let go yet. Call it closure, call it petty, but I want to see them fall all the way down. Update 3. It's been 2 months already. Remember how I mentioned I helped Jamie during his substance phase? Well, turns out he never fully got clean. I didn't notice before, but my therapist helped me connect dots. Mood swings, erratic behavior, the secrecy. A friend who works at a clinic confirmed Jamie was recently admitted for a nervous episode. He's back on substances. And Luke? He reached out, said he was so sorry, that he was lonely and confused, that Jamie is toxic and he made a mistake. Guys, he asked if we could try again. I laughed for a solid 10 minutes before blocking him on everything. I bumped into Jamie's mother at a bookstore. She hugged me like I was still her daughter-in-law, said Jamie wasn't doing well. Apparently, Luke cheated on him with another married man. Jamie spiraled, lost 2 more clients, stopped going out, blocked half his friends. She asked if I'd consider reaching out. I said I did reach out. It was called a wedding invitation. later on, I received a text from Jamie. It just said,
I'm sorry, I miss you.
I left it on red. Update 4. It will be my final update, y'all, because personally, this story is no longer mine. Jamie's in rehab. Luke's moved back in with his parents. Their fairy tale crashed and burned. 6 months after that, I got a letter. From Luke. He said,
I was confused. I never meant to hurt you. Jamie and I, it was exciting, but it wasn't real. You were real. I lost the only good thing I had.
He asked if I'd meet for coffee, to talk. I didn't respond, but I did fold the letter, light a candle, and burn it in a bowl. I whispered, goodbye. I just got back from a 2-week trip to Iceland. I'm writing a book. I'm rebuilding my life on my own terms. I thought revenge would make me feel whole. It didn't, not fully, but it did give me back my power. And for that, I regret nothing.